The neon sign outside Ava's salon flickered in the perpetual twilight of station Kepler 442b, casting purple and blue shadows across the empty waiting area. She had spent 3 solar cycles preparing for this moment, her 20th rotation celebration, what humans called a birthday party. The decorations hung limply from the ceiling. Bioluminescent streamers from her home planet of Thesara, imported at considerable expense, and a cake made from synth proteins that approximated the taste of her childhood. Eva checked the chronometer again. 2 standard hours past the scheduled time. Nobody was coming. Her 4-fingered hands trembled as she adjusted one of the streamers, her iridescent skin shifting from hopeful blue to disappointed gray. She had invited everyone, her regular clients, the shopkeepers from the neighboring establishments, even the station administrator, who occasionally came in for a molecular hair reconstruction. The salon that had become her sanctuary, her small claim to success in the vast commercial district, suddenly felt cavernous and cold. The chime above the door rang, and Ava's skin flickered with momentary hope. But it was just the automated delivery drone dropping off supplies. She signed for the package with her neural interface, fighting back the emotion that threatened to overwhelm her respiratory system. Perhaps it was her fault. The Sarans weren't known for being social. Her people preferred solitude, quiet contemplation, and the methodical precision of their crafts. Ava had always been different. She craved connection, conversation, the stories that clients shared while she worked on their hair. But being different among her own kind had driven her here, to this station at the edge of explored space, where she thought she might find acceptance among the diverse species of the galactic community. Instead, she found polite distance, professional courtesy, but no friends. Eva began taking down the decorations, each removal a small defeat. The cake would go into the recycler. The streamers could be saved for, another party nobody would attend? The door chimed again. "We're closed," Eva said without turning, her voice translator converting her melodic Thessaran into flat galactic standard. "Even for birthdays?" Eva spun around. Standing in the doorway was a human, tall, with dark hair that desperately needed cutting, and eyes that crinkled at the corners with something that looked like kindness. He wore the patched jacket of a freight hauler, and his boots had seen better decades. How did you know?" Eva asked, her skin flushing with surprise, turning a pale lavender. The human, Luis, according to the name patch on his jacket, gestured to the decorations she hadn't yet removed. "Bioluminescent streamers from Thesara. I'd recognize them anywhere. Used to run freight through that sector. Also, the cake's a dead giveaway." He smiled. "I'm Luis. My ship just docked for repairs. Saw your salon light was still on and thought I might grab a trim, but if I'm interrupting—" "No," Ava said too quickly, then modulated her tone. "No. You're not interrupting. Please come in." Luis stepped inside, his eyes taking in the decorations, the untouched cake, the table set for guests who never arrived. His expression softened with understanding. "Rough party?" Eva's skin cycled through several colors before settling on resigned blue. "Nobody came. I shouldn't have expected. My people aren't social, and I'm not close enough to anyone here to—" She stopped, embarrassed by the admission. Luis pulled out one of the chairs she had so carefully arranged. "Well, I'm here now, and I'm terrible at declining cake, so why don't you tell me about Thesara while you give me the haircut of a lifetime?" Something in his tone, genuine, without pity, just simple human warmth, made Ava's skin glow with the first real happiness she'd felt all day. "You want a haircut now? Best time, isn't it? Quiet, no waiting, and I've got nowhere else to be until my ship's ready." Luis settled into the styling chair. "Plus, birthdays shouldn't be spent alone. Trust me, I've had enough of those myself." Eva found herself moving automatically, her professional instincts taking over. She activated the molecular scanner, analyzing Luis's hair structure. As she worked, Luis talked about his travels. The cargo runs that took him to the edges of known space, the loneliness of long hauls between stars. "Humans have this saying," Luis said as Eva's precise fingers worked through his hair with the specialized tools of her trade. "Alone in a crowd, you can be surrounded by millions and still feel like the only person in the universe." "Yes," Eva whispered, her skin brightening with recognition. "Exactly that. But here's the thing about humans," Luis continued. "We're persistence hunters. Earth creatures originally. We don't give up easily, and we don't like seeing others give up either. especially on something as important as celebrating making it another year in this crazy universe. Ava felt something shift in her chest, the Thessaran equivalent of a caught breath.
Why are you being so kind to a stranger?
Louise met her eyes in the mirror. Because kindness doesn't require a reservation or an invitation. It's just what we do, at least what we should do, he paused. And because nobody deserves to spend their birthday alone. For the next hour, Ava gave Louise the most meticulous haircut she'd ever performed. They talked about everything. Her journey from Thessara, his life hauling freight across the sector, the strange beauty of isolated space stations where 1,000 species crossed paths without truly connecting. When she finished, Louise insisted they eat cake. He produced a small flask from his jacket. Terran whiskey. Probably shouldn't mix with alien cake, but what's a birthday without a little risk? They toasted. To survival, to unexpected friendships, to the stubborn human habit of showing up even when nobody else did. As Louise finally prepared to leave, he paused at the door. Station Kepler 442b is on my regular route. I'll be back through in about 40 standard days. Maybe you could save me an appointment. Ava's skin glowed brilliant gold, the Thessaran color of joy. I'll put you in the schedule. And Ava? Louise smiled. Next year, let me know about your party in advance. Humans have this irritating tendency to show up, especially where we're not expected. Fair warning. After he left, Eva stood in her salon, surrounded by half-removed decorations and the remnants of cake shared with a stranger who had become something more. She thought about humanity's reputation across the galaxy, their strange optimism, their refusal to accept loneliness as an inevitable condition, their persistent belief that connection was always possible. Perhaps that was the real human superpower. Not their technology or their adaptability, but their stubborn insistence on showing up, on seeing others, on refusing to let anyone celebrate alone. Eva's skin settled into a warm, contented blue as she closed the salon for the night. Tomorrow, she decided she would leave the decorations up just a little longer.